How's everybody doing today? Now this is your fourth stimulus check update and daily news report. Hope all of you guys are having a great day, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we have a ton of breaking news to cover surrounding your fourth stimulus check and unemployment news, so be sure to stay until the end of this video. Now, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer pressed lawmakers on Thursday to make progress on President Biden's agenda, setting up a vote on a $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill and demanding Democrats give back a larger $3.5 trillion budget blueprint. After President Biden reached an agreement with a bipartisan group of senators on an infrastructure plan, many Democrats criticized how the deal cut out many care economy measures, like elder care and affordable housing. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York doubled down on those criticisms on Thursday, promising that progressives will tank the deal unless a separate bill full of care economy measures makes the cut too. In addition, folks, Senate Democrats announced that they had reached such a deal, which they hoped to pass in tandem with the infrastructure package through a political process known as reconciliation.
As chairman of the Budget Committee, let me try to explain to you what we are trying to do and how it's going. For a start, you're ready to get confused because here it goes. For a start, we got a so-called bipartisan infrastructure bill,
which just requires a simple majority vote. During a town hall, Ocasio-Cortez said, "House progressives are standing up. We will take the bipartisan infrastructure bill unless we also pass the reconciliation bill." Now, during a late night announcement, Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader, said the Budget Committee had reached an agreement to allot $3.5 trillion for the spending package that will complete President Biden's infrastructure plan. Schumer said, "You add that to the $600 billion in a bipartisan plan, and you get to $4.1 trillion, which is very, very close to what President Biden has access for." Schumer said that every major program that President Biden has access for is funded in a robust way. Folks, what are your thoughts on Chuck Schumer and his work on the fourth stimulus check? Do you approve of him or do you not? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. The Congresswoman called the reconciliation package an enormous victory. According to multiple news sources, Ocasio-Cortez said this bill is absolutely a progressive victory. If it wasn't for progressives in the House, we probably would be stuck with that tiny, pathetic bipartisan bill alone. And reportedly, everybody, a congresswoman called the reconciliation package an enormous victory. According to multiple news sources, Ocasio-Cortez said this bill is absolutely a progressive victory. If it wasn't for progressives in the House, we probably would be stuck with that tiny, pathetic bipartisan bill alone. Bloomberg says that Democrats plan to pass the bill using reconciliation, meaning they won't need Republican votes and can bypass a potential filibuster. But Nancy Pelosi can afford to lose only 4 Democratic votes. So everyone, do you think that Democrats should use the budget reconciliation process to pass the infrastructure bill? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Now the budget will cover costs to expand Medicare, address climate change, childcare, and education. All big ticket items deemed human infrastructure. The Republicans said they would reject. However, many of the specifics of the bill still need to be worked out. Ocasio-Cortez said if Manchin and the Senate, if they approve our reconciliation bill, we will approve their bipartisan bill, and if they try to ship immigration reform, then we will claw back on childcare and climate action. Speaker Pelosi also said Thursday the House may realign some of the provisions in the Senate package, which can risk support from moderates in both chambers. On June 24th, President Biden again announced that he had reached an agreement on an infrastructure plan with the bipartisan group of senators after weeks of negotiations, ending up with a plan that was just under $1 trillion, cutting over half of the president's original price tag. This led many Democrats, including Speaker Pelosi, to say that in order to win their support for the bipartisan deal, a reconciliation bill must be passed alongside it to get needed care economy measures to the American people. Pelosi told reporters at the time, "There is not going to be an infrastructure bill unless we have the reconciliation bill passed by the United States Senate." And Joe Biden even said during a press conference that the infrastructure deal and a reconciliation bill would work in tandem, but he later walked back those comments following fierce opposition from Republican lawmakers. Progressive lawmakers are still pushing for a reconciliation bill that they believe is urgent to meet the needs of the country, including addressing climate change, and their promise to shut down the bipartisan deal if the reconciliation bill isn't passed at the same time. Now, in the state of Indiana, the state government will once again start paying the crisis unemployment benefits, including the $300 weekly supplement. On Friday, after the State Court of Appeals early this week, the United States attempt that kept them halted. Now, the chief unemployment insurance officer at the State Department of Workforce Development said that some 25,000 claimants have already received more than $33 million. The payments will be retroactive to the week ending June 26, she said. In the state of the Post, the state had stopped the pandemic unemployment programs as of June 19th, and some 120,000 people were affected. Folks, that's all the news in this video. If you guys found this video useful and helpful, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like.
Is 62. Now, if you are a widow, the earliest that you could take your benefits are age 60. Now, should you take your benefits early? That is the question. As you know, that the longer you wait to take Social Security, the more those benefits accrue, typically up to 8% per year. So there are a couple of factors which will help you to determine when to take Social Security.
Happy Friday. Ryan Karam's got some sunglasses on. Everybody's ready for the weekend. Okay, I have a couple of items for all of you at the top. Last week, we launched the Supply Chain Disruption Task Force to monitor, engage, and act on current and emerging supply chain disruptions and bottlenecks. This afternoon, the White House is hosting a convening of the Supply Chain Disruptions Task Force with Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development Marcia Fudge, Director of the National Economic Council Brian Deese, Domestic Policy Advisor Susan Rice, Council of Economic Advisors Chair Cecilia Rouse, and groups representing the full range of the home building supply chain, from loggers and lumber contractors, labor leaders, realtors, and affordable housing advocates. At this convening, these administration officials and key stakeholders will discuss strategies to address short-term supply chain disruptions in the home building sector and how they can work together to address them. I also wanted to note that yesterday, senior White House officials led by Susan Rice and Julie Rodriguez launched the Community Violence Intervention Collaborative, announced by the President on June 23rd as part of his comprehensive plan to reduce gun crime. The Community Violence Intervention is an evidence-based approach that has been shown to reduce violence by as much as 60%. CVI prevents gun violence and crime in communities around the country before it happens by intervening in disputes early and connecting potential perpetrators and victims with services and support to divert them away from crime. It's an approach that's been embraced by an increasing number of law enforcement leaders nationally, as well as by mayors of both parties in cities around America. So this will be an ongoing initiative. Also wanted to give you an update. I noted earlier this week that there have been 2 million people who now have access to affordable health care thanks to the reopening of the special enrollment period. Yesterday, we launched a summer sprint coverage campaign, leveraging robust paid media, increased community outreach, and more to get Americans signed up. The President is urging Americans who need health insurance to visit healthcare.gov or to call 1-800-3